Okay. Kyagulanyi Center mu Robert Bobi Wine Mitembo. Ono mwami mulalamu. Kyakoze Bungereza Gino Museveni afeesa kubanga olukiiko lunene olusingayo olukulembera eggwanga lya Bungereza bagambe Kyagulanyi ebigambo bibiti okujja ku gavumenti ya Gino Museveni gwe mulamwa. Kasooto tubifune Museveni afuuse.
I'm here to celebrate 15 years of waiting and now a Labour government. And a Labour government with a good majority and with every chance of being in power for 10 years. Now the question is, what is this progressive Labour government going to do with the power that it's been given? And that's going to be the challenge, because one thing we can't be is timid. Because there is so much to do. We have to renew our country. We have to make sure, and we have been so far, but we need to continue to do more. We have to turn this country round. What have we had? What have we inherited? We've inherited the worst debt for I don't know how long, with the highest tax rates for I don't know how long, the worst type of an absolute, our public services on its knees, and in communities that are divided again and again against one another. We must bring it together. We have to get our economy going. We have to make sure that we put our arms around the most vulnerable, and we have to do something else. And that's this. We have to get Britain back on the international stage. You know, we have spent all this time under these Tories just fighting amongst themselves, arguing over Brexit, trying to become leader, fighting one another, stabbing each other in the back, and not caring. I tell you, when I was Shadow Foreign Secretary, I would meet people who would openly laugh at Britain. And I tell you why, for many reasons, but one of them, of course, was because of the Foreign Secretary. Because of the Foreign Secretary that we had, who was simply a joke. Who would make ridiculous jokes about Italians and I don't know, I've got some jokes. Right, Boris Johnson, right? Who claimed that the Italians needed to be our friends only because of all the Prosecco that we drank, who wrote poetry about Erdogan shagging sheep, and who recited Kipling in the most inappropriate time. And this man represented our country. And I'll tell you what, you know, the international community needs us like we need the international community. Our voice can be augmented, and we can play our role by bringing together countries like ourselves and for us to work together. For heaven's sake, this is what we've always done, and we've always done it well. And why have we lost confidence in ourselves? Because we've had this appalling government. You know, this government where the Brexit Secretary was surprised to find out how much trade went through Dover. A Northern Ireland Secretary, who became Justice Minister soon afterwards, who said he was only breaking international law in small and particular ways. I mean, this is international law. Why have they been allowed to do this to us? No. We have to put our shoulders back. We have to look the world in the eye, and we have to say, we're back. We're back. And we're back, and we're here to do good, and we're here to be an influence for good. And we're here to work with our friends and our allies and be able to augment their words, because I tell you, the world needs it. We need a bit of working together. We need to start diffusing some of the tensions around the world. We need a bit of linking common sense. And we also can't forget the power that we have as a country. What is the matter with us? You know, think about all the things that we have to offer. We're close to Europe, we're close to the Americas. We have profound links with our Commonwealth with countries such as Uganda. We have English, which is a global language. We have our leading role in NATO, our contribution to international development, and all the things that Barbara Castle wanted, we've been able to put into practice, and we need to make sure we get back on its knees again. We have our seat on the Security Council. We have our cultural strength. I'm not just talking about like Shakespeare and James Bond and our theatrical stage. I'm also talking about Arsenal and Manchester United. These are things which people around the world understand. And we also have our global influence. The BBC, the World Service, which everybody turns on at a time of crisis. If any country was to have any one of those, they would feel proud of us. And we have all of these things going for us. So why are we so timid? And why are we so afraid? And why can't we say, actually, we can be, we have been, we want to be a force for good? We not only put our arms around the most vulnerable within our country, but we put our arms around our friends internationally. And we work with one another. And we believe in international law. We believe in international institutions. We believe in rights. We believe in peace. I am so honoured to be on a platform with the guests from Ukrainian Rada, with someone such as Bobi, who I've had the pleasure of meeting. Such an extraordinary man, such an opposition leader and a film star. Whose bravery in the face of incredible oppression is an example to all of us. Sometimes, over the last few years, some of us have felt, particularly women in Britain, British politicians have felt, and it's right for us to say this, that there have been attempts to intimidate us, and to oppress us, and to shut us up. And we don't shut up, because we've got a lot to say. But what we go through is of nothing compared to some of the things some of our brothers and sisters around the world need to do, and what they have to face just in order to make sure that they give a voice to the voiceless. I'm so proud to be on a platform with you. Thank you very much. I have nothing more to say. I'm now going to allow myself to be completely eclipsed by Bobi.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bobi Wine, who we didn't actually know was going to be here a couple of weeks ago because we got a text message saying, by the way, Bobi's been shot by the Ugandan police. But I'm very happy to say he is here with us. And ladies and gentlemen, give a huge open welcome to the one and only Bobi Wine.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's humbling. I'm very glad to be here. Emily, you just fired me up. And for that reason, I'm going to drop my class. I want to teach you our slogan in Uganda. When I say people power, you say our power, all right? People power. Our power. People power. Our power. When I say our power, you say people power. People power. Our power. Our power. People power. People power. Our power. Our power. People power. And I'm loving this audience. It was such an amazing audience. I'll do this. See, I would like to communicate about the things that we have to eliminate, the ignorance and poverty to eradicate, and the ghetto people them to educate. Don't you try to politicize. Don't say Bobi Wine in to criticize. Just sensitize, we sensitize, because I know my people must realize the most important thing, that true liberty begins in your mindset. To free ghetto people, they must educate, but education is expensive to get. It's like you say we carry water in a basket. Boom! I don't know why the corruption is too much.
Yaga, yaga, yaga.
Why the price of electricity is too high.
Yaga, yaga, yaga.
Why the price of education is too high. Emily did not tell you that I'm a musician too. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so humbled to be here with you today. When I got this invitation for my friend Alex Sobel, I decided to put on my Christmas suit. And I put a few notes down, but I'm not even sure that I will refer to them so much. For starters, I am very, very glad to be here. For those who know me, hello. For those who don't know me, hi. My name is Ewede Robert, also known by my stage name Bobi Wine. I'm the leader of the National Unity Platform political party, the largest opposition party in Uganda. I'm also the leader of the People Power movement, and I'm also a musician. As a matter of fact, if it was not for the election fraud of 2021, I would be addressing you as the elected president of Uganda. I'm glad to be here. Special thanks to you, Alex, for the invitation and the opportunity to speak at this conference. I also want to salute the members of parliament from the Labour Party and indeed other parties for standing with us, for always amplifying our voices and echoing our cries for democracy, for the rule of law, and for human rights. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have a theme that is so timely: global challenges, collective solutions. It cannot be in a better time than now. Now, when the world is only recovering from a global pandemic, when world leaders are grappling with the effects of climate change and trying to find solutions. But most importantly, I want to communicate to you, friends, that we have an even bigger pandemic. The pandemic of authoritarianism, growing authoritarianism in the world. You'll notice that since 1997, the World Freedom Index is showing alarming results. Almost 40% of the world's population live under autocracy. It's only about 20% of the world population that are living in free countries. It's getting worse and worse. So that is not just a problem limited to the territories where there are these dictators. No. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, even in this, our midst, we have Ugandans. Very many of them left their country because of reasons to do with governance. Some of them cannot live in their countries because they are critical of the government where they are supposed to be living. And others, because of the dictatorship and the after effects of dictatorship, like corruption, like gross human rights violations, and others are forced to leave their country. So you'll find that the effects of misrule go further and wider than the territories that are being oppressed. And I must remind you, ladies and gentlemen, that dictators read from the same playbook. They advise each other, and sadly, they look out for each other. They cooperate so much in their evil schemes. What we have to ask ourselves, we that profess democracy, that profess human rights, we have a big question to ask ourselves. Are we as united as dictators? Are we working hard enough to preserve democratic values of human rights and the rule of law, like those that are seeking to destroy them? In the case of Uganda, and I'll talk about Uganda so much because that's where I come from. General Museveni, who is now past 80, has bestowed the biggest powers to his son. His son, who he recently elevated to be the chief of our nation's military, just yesterday announced that his military, because it is military, will not allow any civilian ruler, any civilian leader after General Museveni. Now, General Museveni has been president of our country for close to 40 years. He took over power when I was only 4 years. I am 42 today, and he's still president. In January, he's going to make 39 years in power and still counting. And as if that is not terrible enough, the 80-year-old general is in advanced stages of passing power to his son. Now, his son yesterday, less than 48 hours ago, announced that the security forces are not going to allow a civilian to become leader of our country after his father. Now, this is a country that is made to go to the polls again in January 2026, about a year, very few months from now. That is where we are. What am I requesting you, ladies and gentlemen? First, I will appreciate the steadfast cooperation between the government of the United Kingdom and the people of Uganda. We have a historical relationship that dates back several decades. The UK government has supported the people of Uganda in their development efforts, has supported in maternal and reproductive health, has supported in the fight against corruption, has supported in regional security, among others. We appreciate that. But we are asking for much more than that. We know that you, ladies and gentlemen, that you good people can leverage your political and economic influence over Uganda to assist us advance for better governance, to assist us advance for democracy. All we're asking for is a free and fair election. The people of Uganda have for a very long time desired an opportunity. Okay, I'll go right now. They've desired an opportunity to choose their leaders. We've not had that, and we want at least to have that in our lifetime. We know that everything rises and falls on leadership. We know that because the leaders in the UK are accountable to the citizens, that is how countries like this one develop. We want the same. We appreciate the sanctions that are being slapped on the corrupt officials, have been slapped on gross human rights violators, and we're asking for more of that. We're asking you to help us hold those people accountable, because ultimately it is the international voices, it is the voices of the development partners that are listening to so much. While we keep pushing from our angle, we request you to also assist us, knowing that collective efforts and collective solutions are what are going to help countries like ours. I speak about Uganda as a case study, but I know that there are many other countries that are oppressed that the UK deals with. We request you to hold these dictators to the same standards, to the values that you hold so dear. Otherwise, it will be so shameful for a world-renowned dictator like General Museveni and his son to proudly stand and say they are having a collaboration and a cooperation relationship with the UK, a country that is known to be a world-renowned democracy. I thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to me. And I thank you for the invitation. I thank the people of Uganda for not giving up, and I request you not to give up on us. Thank you very much.
People power!
Well, thank you so much, Bobby. Thank you for being here. It is a privilege, and I tell you what, conference is great. Yeah, I get to hear so many interesting speakers at Labour Party conference. But I'll be honest, they're the same faces, they're the same people, and I hear them all the time in Parliament, and they're saying the same thing at conference. It's so great to have someone like Bobby here. Yeah. And I say this personally as someone who is of Eritrean heritage. If one of us is not free, none of us are. And we have to hold it. And we will, Open Labour will be wherever, be with the Ugandan people and with Bobby, and the fight for justice and freedom. For those who are interested, he is part of an Oscar-nominated documentary, Bobi Wine, our People's President. Go check it out if you can. I don't know where you can Google it. And on that note, on people who are fighting against vested interests, the powerful, this is our next speaker. His name is Congressman Jerere, part of the Alternative Democratic Poll in Colombia. And before that, he was a human rights lawyer. We had that before. He fought for the oppressed, for justice, for the rule of law against those vested interests. And he'll be speaking in Spanish, but luckily we'll have a translator. We all know that it's not great when it comes to foreign languages, but I'm very happy to announce Congressman Ewede.
Have a nice evening.
Thank you very much.
Are you staying for the rest of the week?
Oh yeah.
Are you going over to the conference centre or are you just...
No, we just finished the conference here and now we're having a good time.
Good.
Yeah.
Enjoy the city.
Thank you very much for saying hello and thank you for not arresting me. Sure.
Ayo ye President Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine Bungereza ensonga ozuulidde bulungi za kujjako nakyemalira General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni ne gavumenti ye n'abantu bakabinja ke bali mu kunyaga bali mu kubbamu eggwanga lyaffe Uganda olisanyaawo okulaba nga ate tusigala mu mbeera embi bw'atyo omulimu bwawukoze okulaba nga abikolera ddala abasajja babuulira ddala ekituufu bamuwa invitation era invitation agiholalinga n'agenda ebigambo n'abibagamba byakujjako General Museveni komya kumuwa nsimbi kumuwola kulaba nga owabawo akalulu ak'amazima n'obwenkanya watali kubba Wanauganda bakoma okuwambibwa bakoma okuttibwa bakoma okusibwa obwereere bamuteeka akazito sofuna president kwe twetaaga bannayuganda nakyemalira abatulabire kale byebyo kama bakume mwera